Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield in the County of Union, New Jersey at 7 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, May 6, 2014 at Wilson Elementary School, 301 Linden Avenue, Westfield, New Jersey. The purpose of the meeting is to transact the regular business of the Board and to transact any other business to come properly before the Board. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield Board on Friday, May 2, 2014, caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, the Star Ledger, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Alternative Press, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Dana, may I have a roll call?
Lucy Biegler. Here. Ann Carey.
Here.
Mark Friedman.
Here.
Brendan Galligan.
Here.
Roseanne Kirstead.
Here.
Ginny Light.
Here.
Gretchen Olding.
Here.
Mitch Slater.
Jenny, can you lead us in the flag salute?
I'd be happy to. Where are we looking? I can't see it. Oh, it's up there. Oh, on the wall. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's one up there. That's right.
Yeah. Sorry, we didn't see the one behind us. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Dolan.
Today, we have been celebrating National Teacher Appreciation Day, and we salute over 600 teaching staff professionals in the Westfield Public Schools who work to guide our students to become critical thinkers and good citizens. National Teacher Day is a good time to learn about the contributions that educators make to our community every day. So I think it's fitting that at tonight's Board of Education meeting, we will learn more about the 2014 recipient of the Westfield Rotary Club's Phil Hauer Fellowship, Wilson fourth grade teacher, Coral Venturino. I congratulate Mrs. Venturino on receiving this significant honor bestowed on her by the Westfield Rotary and based on glowing letters of recommendation from parents and students. And I also want to thank Wilson School for your warm welcome. And I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Wilson's principal, Joseph Malanga.
Thank you, Dr. Dolan. Before we begin this afternoon or this evening, it's been a very long day. I'm going to ask that we all stand in a moment of silence for a former Wilson student, Kelly Mizuko, who passed away several days ago. And I was my first year here at Wilson when I met Kelly, and what a wonderful young lady. So I'm going to ask that we all stand for a moment of silence. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone. Mrs. Kirstead, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Dolan, Westfield staff members, parents, students, family, and friends of Mrs. Venturino. Thank you for joining the Westfield educational community in honoring this year's recipient of the Charles Phil Hauer Fellowship Award, Coral Venturino. Just about 2 years ago today, I had the pleasure of recognizing Frank Uvegas as the recipient of this prestigious award. Past recipients include Mary Dora, Angela Caruba, and Trista Pollard, all Wilson teachers, that join with Coral this evening in a celebration of outstanding achievement and accomplishments while serving as an elementary teacher in the Westfield Public Schools. Mrs. Venturino started her teaching career as a kindergarten teacher in Summit in 1989. Coral, I wasn't going to give the dates, but, okay. She was hired by the Westfield School District in 1990 and has worked at both Wilson and Washington elementary schools. During her tenure, Mrs. Venturino has taught kindergarten, second, fourth, and has served as a resource room teacher. This past week, I had the opportunity to closely review Mrs. Venturino's personnel file and found some very, very interesting excerpts from past and present administrators and parents that I would like to share with you here this evening. So we'll start with the administrators. In 1993, Mrs. Venturino, it was stated that Mrs. Venturino does have high expectations for her students, and they do live up to her expectations. We are very lucky to have teachers as skilled, knowledgeable, hardworking, and caring as Mrs. Venturino. In 1995, the principal at that time wrote, Mrs. Venturino is very creative in developing high interest and hands-on activities for her pupils. Students feel safe and successful in Mrs. Venturino's classroom. In 2008, I think I was your principal at that time. You had another great year, Coral. Your students have grown academically and socially. You have done so many extra events and activities that enrich your second grade experience. It was great to read some of the letters that parents wrote nominating you for the Philhauer Award. You have also helped out in numerous ways, often behind the scenes to make our school a great place for students and adults to learn and grow. And now some excerpts from parents that have written over the years. In 1995, as any parent does, I want the best for my children. We tend to complain when we think our children aren't getting just that. As the school year ends, I want to take a minute to tell you how pleased I am with the progress of my daughter. Mrs. Venturino is an asset to Wilson School. She is a dedicated professional who works hard to get the very best from her students. My child is truly fortunate to have the benefit of Mrs. Venturino's guidance and creative skills. In 1997, another parent wrote, Mrs. Venturino excels at making learning fun and developing curriculum that is creative and challenging. She really does care for her pupils and makes time to get to know each one of them as a unique person. My daughter will remember many things that she learned in Mrs. Venturino's class, and not just the academics. In 1998, my husband and I would like to nominate Mrs. Venturino of Wilson School for the Philhauer Fellowship Award. Mrs. Venturino has been an invaluable asset at Wilson School for the past 7 years. Mrs. Venturino came to Wilson in 1990 as a part-time kindergarten teacher. Her enthusiasm as a first-year staff member and her gift as a teacher were immediately apparent. Mrs. Venturino took the kindergartners on a roller coaster ride of educational adventures. Their imaginary plane ride to London, complete with passports to see the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace, was enchanting. To have her introduce these young children to the joys of learning was a blessing. Wilson School is very blessed by her presence and dedication to her craft. She is truly deserving of this award. In 2005, a parent wrote, we find Mrs. Venturino a truly inspiring individual. She has given the ultimate gift to our children, her undivided attention. And then in 2007, another parent wrote, Mrs. Venturino is the most understanding and compassionate teacher I have ever had the pleasure to have been involved with. She understands, in capital letters, understands children and recognizes what they are and are not capable of. She is inspiring and challenging, yet she realizes limitations. She finds the best they can offer and makes them achieve even more. She truly sees beyond and through obstacles and gets the child motivated to do their best. Mrs. Venturino has made a real difference, not only to my daughter's school career, but also to her life. I have been most fortunate to work with Mrs. Venturino during the past 7 years. When I think of Coral Venturino, I think about her enthusiasm, her innovativeness, and her genuine concern for the students that she serves daily. Her flexibility in working with students, teachers, and the parent community has earned her an enviable reputation as an excellent teacher who truly cares about the quality of instruction and the impact it has on student learning. Mrs. Venturino always sets high standards for herself and her students, and then works hard to see that they are met. She is constantly broadening her knowledge, improving her craft, and sharing with her peers what she has learned. Sorry. As principal of Wilson School, I am proud of your contributions to the children of our school. Charles Philhauer was an important educational leader in New Jersey and in Westfield. To receive this award in his name is a significant honor and a notable accomplishment. You truly deserve this recognition, and my sincerest congratulations. And now the best part of the meeting is to come. It's my pleasure to introduce some of our fourth grade students presently in Mrs. Venturino's class. Coralla McGrail, Aiden Carney, Lexi Pace, Maggie Cassidy, and Stephen Harvey. Come on up, boys and girls.
When we have a superstar in our class, we sing the song. I think you're wonderful. It's when somebody says that to me. I feel wonderful, as wonderful can be. It makes me want to say the same thing to somebody new. And by the way, I've been meaning to say, I think you're wonderful too. But tonight, Mrs. Venturino is a superstar. Mrs. Venturino is wonderful for so many reasons. If someone is sad, she can pull kind words out of her pocket to put a smile on their face. She is like a Band-Aid healing our wounds. Also, Mrs. Venturino can change an ordinary lesson into an extraordinary lesson by making subjects come alive. Mrs. Venturino makes the world colorful with her creativity, facial expressions, and witty sense of humor. There isn't a better person who deserves the Philhauer Award.
Attention, morning workout. Hoo, hoo, hoo. That's how we start off our day in 4V. There's no surprise that every day is going to be a great day with Mrs. Venturino. There's no doubt that Mrs. Venturino deserves this award. Mrs. Venturino always cheers us up when we are feeling sad. She takes her time out of her day to give us extra help, whether it's before school, at recess, or after school. She also believes that our desk is our property. She will never go in our desk without permission. Plus, she probably has the biggest classroom library in the school. We are never struggling to find a book. My teacher challenges us every day. She believes that we are all great students and we can achieve anything. Mrs. Venturino is a great teacher and she totally deserves this award. Yeah. Out of all the teachers I've ever had, Mrs. Venturino is obviously the best. She is kind, funny, smart, and makes great catchphrases. To teach us that pentagons have 5 sides, she said, I use my 5 fingers to make my pen go to gone. I'll never forget how many sides a pentagon has. I'll also never forget to restate the question and the answer to my problem because she made another catchphrase for that. It is, echo the question in your answer. And not only will that stay stuck in my head forever, but she also sings it. She also uses kind expressions for when we are good, such as, be still my beating heart, and oh my stars in heaven. Mrs. Venturino is a superb teacher who can't be replaced. Mrs. Venturino, you are the best.
Good evening. I put my thoughts about Mrs. Venturino into a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. Here is a fact that is very true. Nice and kind is what you are. You are our shining star. When I am sad, you always say something to make me feel glad. You are great at reading us stories with all kind of voices, especially when there are so many character choices. The Mino Venturino saying is not true. The only reason I smile is all because of you. Not only do we think Mrs. Venturino is the smartest, but she has she has a hidden talent as a true artist. Tonight we honor Mrs. Venturino with a Phil Hour. It is about time she is recognized for her talent, impact, and power.
I wrote an acrostic poem to highlight Mrs. Venturino's extraordinary character traits. V is for valuable. You always find the worth in everybody. E is for energetic. You always have energy to teach class 4V every day. N is for never negative. You always have kind thoughts about everyone. T is for thoughtful. You will always think about others before yourself. U is for understanding. You always support our thoughts and feelings. R is for respectful. You will never go through our desks without permission. N is for innovative. You are creative and artistic. N is for nurturing. You're always gentle with kids and sensitive to their feelings. O is for outstanding. You're a fantastic teacher and you deserve this award. Mrs. Venturino, we are so glad to have you as teacher.
Thank you, boys and girls. I'd now like to call up Nora Chin and Kiran Akenki to come up and make their presentation. Come on up, guys. Wow. Are you going to speak? Okay, come on. Read the book, honey. Okay, put it right here. Get this ready for you.
Mrs. Venturino, this scrapbook is a gift from the class. Every kid made a page. We are so proud of that. You are our teacher.
We hope this book will remind you of the times we had together in your class. Congratulations, Miss Venturino.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce our PTO co-presidents from Wilson School, Mrs. Jane Carney and Mrs. Donna Pace.
I don't know how we follow those kids. That's not fair. Okay, okay. Sorry. We have heard people talk about remarkable teachers who teach the whole child, and we, as Class 4V, are fortunate enough to see that every single day. Mrs. Venturino is teaching our children math, science, social studies, and language arts, but she is also teaching them the equally important character-building lessons that they need in order to become well-rounded, empathetic citizens. She knows each of her students so well academically, and she gives them the encouragement and the tools they need in a way that each individual student needs them. She also knows each of them so well personally. A few weeks ago, my daughter had received an Act of Kindness award at school, and it was announced during the school day. And I happened to speak to Mrs. Venturino during the day over the telephone, and she told me what happened, and she said when her name was announced, she smiled, and then her cheeks got flushed at the top, as they do when she's proud. And I just thought how lucky that our daughter's teacher knows her so well that she noticed such a subtle reaction and knew how she felt because of it. Mrs. Venturino truly enjoys all of her students every day, and she lets them know how much they mean to her. She makes each of them feel special because each one of them is special to her. She provides them with a warm, comfortable learning environment where they can't help but excel. On behalf of the Wilson PTO, we'd like to present this small token of our congratulations to Carl Venturino on being chosen for the Charles Philhauer Fellowship Award for outstanding teaching at the elementary school level.
And while Donna was our official speaker for the PTO, I just want to add three quick words from Mrs. Venturino. I think of motivation, support, and advocacy. I mean, I'm just repeating things that so many people have said already, but the way she motivates every single child based on where they're at, their personality, their learning style, et cetera, is remarkable. The way she supports them emotionally, educationally, and socially, again, remarkable. And such a wonderful advocate so that every child she comes in contact with gets the most out of their education that we are so fortunate to have available here in Westfield is just wonderful to see. So thank you.
And the real highlight of tonight's presentation is to call up all of Mrs. Venturino's students to come up in front. Ms. Brickley and Mrs. Wall, if you can assist. We need to face the audience, boys and girls. And they're going to perform that special song, I Think You're Wonderful.
Somebody says that to me, I feel wonderful.
That was great, boys and girls. I'm going to close with Mrs. Venturino. I think you're wonderful, too. That wasn't on my paper, sorry. Okay.
Well, thank you, and gang, I can't even tell you how proud I am of you, all of you, really. You're exceptional. And I'm pleased that that happened, because I don't know if I would have found the words before that, because you made me smile as you do every day. And thank you for giving me what I need to stand up here, just like you do every day. Thank all of you for and forgive me, I am going to look at my notes, because looking out at you, I'm at a loss, because this is a magnificent crowd, and I'm really, truly very honored everyone is here and overwhelmed. Thank you for all the wonderful speeches and the kind words everyone has said in my honor, and for everyone who came here tonight to share this special evening. The Charles Philhauer Fellowship Award. I'm truly, truly humble and very grateful to the selection committee of the Rotary Club of Westfield for selecting me for such an incredible honor. The Philhauer Fellowship is a wonderful annual opportunity to celebrate elementary teachers within the Westfield Public Schools. It seems hard to believe that this is the 22nd year of the Philhauer Fellowship, and when reading a press release about the award, my daughter, a freshman at Westfield High School, suddenly looked aghast and said, "You started teaching in 1990? You've been teaching longer than this award has been around. You're old." So leave it to children to tell it like it is. But isn't that part of the magic of children? The magic of children, of childhood. How lucky I am to be an elementary educator and be renewed each day by their energy, enthusiasm, love of learning, and yes, visceral honesty. It's with such honesty that I extend my thanks to those of you who have made it possible for tonight. Foremost, I'd like to thank Dr. Margaret Dolan, the administration and the Westfield Board of Education for their vision of excellence and continued commitment to the students of Westfield Public Schools. Thank you to the Wilson PTO for their tireless support and their dedication to the staff and the students of Wilson School. Today, on Teacher Appreciation Day, you've demonstrated once again your inexhaustibility, hosting a teacher appreciation breakfast this morning in this very room, as well as providing this wonderful celebration tonight and the refreshments for this evening. Truly amazing, dawn to dusk. And to my colleagues, my partners here at Wilson, I am so grateful to teach in a school where every day I'm surrounded by professionals who exemplify excellence in everything they do. You motivate me to strive to exemplify that same excellence and to be the very best I can for all of our students. Without you, I stand alone. But with you, I stand among brilliance. And now to my real VIPs, my students. Thank you for the joy you bring to the classroom each day. Thank you for the wide grins, the stories about your weekend, and the sharing of your journals. All in confidence, parents, no stories out of school. Thank you for laughing at my jokes and for humoring me when my jokes were not funny. Thank you for letting me hang up your projects even though you were dying to take them home. Thank you for birthday smooches and sharing your secrets of eternal youth. You know what I mean? Thank you for the hugs, handshakes, and high fives. Thank you for always, always giving your best each day at school. In turn, I promise to always, always give you my best. And that includes weaving pipe cleaners in my hair for Crazy Hair Day, forming a conga line on field day, reading aloud to you using character voices, and telling you to be on the lookout for the numeral police. And here's where you come in. Reminding you of the rules like change the Y to an I and add ES. Do 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 do. Hey! Can't make that up. But most importantly, I'd like to thank my family. For my wonderful husband, Ralph, who well before we were married, patiently understood that parent conferences, lesson plans, and report cards preempted date nights or even a hot meal on the table. And to my intelligent, talented, and beautiful daughters, Paige and Taylor, you two have patiently shared me with my students, past and present, letting me share a hug with your classmates at the conclusion of one of your concerts, or waiting for me to get off the phone with a parent so I could help you with your homework. You girls are amazing, and you are truly the love of my life. Please know that today and always. Without you, my family, there would be no Mrs. Venturino. Certainly not one to be celebrated and honored. Your love and support fortify my every moment. The elementary teacher is an extraordinary person, charged with what I believe to be an extraordinary task. The 3 R's certainly are a portion of the expected curriculum, but as you all know, there's much more to an elementary teacher's day. Teaching the schwa sound while mopping up spilt milk, excitingly reading the climax to your read aloud when suddenly birthday treats appear at the door, introducing equivalent fractions when someone suddenly remembers that they've forgotten to bring their lunch to school, and recreating science experiments that were interrupted by a fire drill. And let's not forget the snow. A few flakes outside, and the lesson plan book truly becomes a work of fiction, at least for a few minutes. But even with the challenges that come with classroom management, teaching content's the easy part of my job. At Back to School Night, I talk about not only the 3 R's, but the 3 S's, and forgive me for those of you who've heard this. The 3 S's: safety, security, and success. In building a classroom community, I've always worked to make every child feel safe and secure. Within this, I mean that each child needs to feel that their classroom is a safe place to take risks, free from negative criticism and judgment. The elementary classroom is a place where children learn to become good citizens, to become faithful, supportive friends. The elementary classroom is also a place where every child deserves a stage, a place to shine. It's my job to help them find that stage, no matter the venue or the discipline. But it's a stage where each one feels smart, capable, and truly valued. Once this is established, academics are easy. Quite simply, safety and security breeds success. A treasured colleague and mentor used to say, I could stand in the closet and teach, and 90% of my students will go to the college of their choice. And although I agree with this, I do also say that it's my job to make sure they do excel, go there looking to the left and looking to the right, caring for those around them, excelling with good character and social responsibility. To some, this may seem like a lofty charge for each school year, building a unique classroom community where truth, fairness, goodwill, and fast friendships benefit all. But I believe this is the crux of elementary education. The principles that drive those words establish a community of learning and faith that is truly magical. It's a place where my students can say, like my daughter, wow, you're old, and be met with laughter, love, and acceptance, the magic of children. I again want to thank you all for this distinction and honor and permitting me to speak so long. the past week has really, truly been amazing. It's a whirlwind. Countless people have literally come out of the woodwork from my past. I have past students here now, and current parents and former colleagues, retired colleagues, all to congratulate me and share how I have positively impacted their lives. I am reeling with all the kind words that you've said tonight and that I've heard this past week. Thank you. In All I Really Need to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten, Robert Fulghum wrote, "You may never have proof of your importance, but you are more important than you think. There are always those who couldn't do without you. The rub is, you don't always know who do. Today, because of you, I know. My forever thanks."
Look, I want to look at you. Well, Mrs. Venturino, it is my honor to meet you and be here to celebrate with you and all of the people who clearly love you so dearly because of who you are and what you do for so many people. I think more than children. You must be an inspiration here and really a wonderful joy to be with. So it is my honor and pleasure to present to you this resolution from the Westfield Board of Education, and I'm supposed to read it to you, so I will. This resolution by the Board of Education of Westfield, New Jersey, to Coral Venturino, Rotary Club of Westfield, 2014 Phil Hauer Fellow. Whereas Charles Phil Hauer distinguished himself as an outstanding educator during 30 years of service as Westfield Superintendent of Schools from 1917 to 1949, you're not quite there yet, helping establish Westfield as a premier school district in the state of New Jersey, and whereas the Rotary Club of Westfield has established a fellowship in memory of Charles Phil Hauer, co-founder and past president of the Rotary Club, and whereas this memorial is a fitting tribute to the importance of teaching in the elementary grades and the nobility of the teaching profession, and whereas Coral Venturino, a fourth grade teacher at Wilson Elementary School, who has been serving Westfield elementary students since 1990, has been awarded the 22nd Annual Phil Hauer Fellowship for outstanding teaching, interest in children, and continued pursuit of professional growth. And whereas Coral Venturino is commended for her effective teaching strategies, for the high standards she establishes for her class, that's you, for her warm and comfortable learning environment she creates to help her children excel, and for making every child in her class feel special. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this Board of Education publicly expresses appreciation to the Rotary Club for establishing this award, and that this Board of Education sincerely congratulates Coral Venturino for being named the 2014 Charles Phil Hauer Fellow, a significant honor and a notable accomplishment. And that this resolution be presented to Coral Venturino on May 6, 2014, and that a copy of this formal resolution becomes a part of the permanent records of this Board of Education. Congratulations and thank you so much. Can I hug you? Thank you so much. That's very kind. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite everybody to share in some of the refreshments that the Wilson PTO has made available for us and to meet with and congratulate Mrs. Venturino some more. Thanks. Okay, this is a really special and wonderful evening for the Board of Education. We have recently honored Corin Venturino for a wonderful recognition from the Rotary Club, and now we have the honor to honor and celebrate the achievements of many of our student athletes. So thank you so much for coming to help us share in these wonderful experiences. So like I said, we're here to celebrate some very wonderful accomplishments from our student athletes. And so I'll read my script. This evening, we have the pleasure of acknowledging Westfield High School's winter sports champions. We're going to start with the girls' swim team. Our girls' swim team earned the Union County Championship and came very close in advancing in the state competition. 5 of our girls had remarkable individual success at the New Jersey Meet of Champions, winning state medals and breaking school and/or state records. The medley relay of Caroline Baldwin, Gwen Devon, Erica Daniel, and Sarah Cronin took first place in the New Jersey Meet the Champions. Their time set both the school and state record. The relay qualified as All-American and ranks as 39 in the event in the entire country. Caroline Baldwin won 2 individual events at the New Jersey Meet of Champions, and she becomes the first repeat winner in 2 individual events in Westfield's history. In the 50 freestyle, Caroline set the state record and which qualified her as an All-American. She ranks 14 in the country in that event. Caroline won the 100 backstroke and set the school record in the event. She qualified as an All-American and ranks 19 in the country. Congratulations to these exceptional swimmers. And now I'd like to call them each up individually. What? Caroline Baldwin. Let me put my pen. Congratulations. So impressive. Sarah Cronin. Congratulations. Erica Daniel. Congratulations. And Gwen Devon. Very exciting. Okay, great. Thank you. While we are recognizing individual champions, I'd like to ask Gabby Stravak to join me at the podium. Stravak. You'll have to help. During the winter track season, Gabby placed first in both the 1600 and 3200 at the North 2 Group 4 State Sectional Championships and set a new school record in the 1600. She came back the following week to place 6th in the 1600 to qualify for the Meet of Champions and broke her school record yet again. She is a 3-season athlete and has broken records on the cross-country team as well. Congratulations, Gabby. And now will Nick Velez join me at the podium? Yay, Nick. Nick is the NJSIAA Region 3 wrestling champion. He finished his senior year with a record of 33-5. He was a champion at the Roselle Park Invitational, Union County Tournament, District 11 Tournament, Region 3 Tournament, and finished 5th in the state at 152 pounds. Nick wrapped up his career with 95 wins, tying him for 5th on the Westfield High School all-time win list. He was captain of the team this year and will continue wrestling at Ithaca College. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. I would like to call the boys' swim team up to the podium. Yes? Right? It's the boys' swim team. You could just make like a circle around us, around the board table. Are we good? It's a really big team. I'll move my stuff. Okay. It is my pleasure to now give you a short summary of the boys' swim team's extremely successful season. They finished their season with a record of 15-1, and as the Union County Sectional and NJSIAA Public A State champions. Their state championship marked the 25th in the history of the program and the most in state history. This team will finish the year ranked 2 in the state and will be considered the greatest in the history of the program. They PowerPointed 4,923 in a dual meet, which is the highest ever by a Westfield boys team. They also PowerPointed over 5,000 by National Interscholastic Swim Coaches Association standards, which is the first time that has ever happened. Over the course of the season, there were numerous top 15 list additions, top 16 finishes at the New Jersey Meet of Champions, and a county and school record were broken. Their efforts and their success is born from the team-first mentality that they share. Congratulations to our state champion boys swim team and their coaches Jeff Knight, Mike Schwebel, and Ashley Westra. Team members, well, you're already here. So I'm going to call out your names individually, and you can come get your certificates. Then you could stay up here so that Mrs. Korecki can get your picture. We'll start with the seniors. Sure. You could help me pronounce some names that are hard. Right. Robert Ball. I'm supposed to say? Oh yeah, I know him. Aaron Barmakian. Thank you. Sean Beatty, right here. All right, thank you. Well, I think I gave you 2. He's twice as good. I gave him 2. Sam Hayes. I'm going to take your name. Congratulations. Tyler Lessner. There we go. Shake and then tap. There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Luke McGrory. Congratulations. Will Murdishaw. Congratulations. Dan Myers. Congratulations. Alec Penn. Congratulations. Thomas Pyle. Noah Stiles. Congratulations. Mark Trinkle. Congratulations. Francis Wong. Matt Warnow. Congratulations. And now we'll go to the juniors. Nick Canone. Congratulations. Kevin Claus. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gavin Conlon. Congratulations. Stephen Hush. John Lindros. Congratulations, you're my neighbor, you know that. Jake Marr. Oh, congratulations. Jack Rose. Congratulations. Hermes Swen. Congratulations. Whoop. Thanks. And Brad Whitman. Oh, congratulations. And now for the sophomores. Ryan Daniel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Lucas Fan. John Fico. Congratulations.
My name is not John.
Oh, Jack. Oh, Jack Fico. Sorry. Sean Gallagher. Congratulations. Austin Cruiser. Congratulations. Jesse Liu. Congratulations. Ben Meltzer. Oh, he's a confirmation process. Him too. Michael Mises. Oh. Congratulations. Evan Moore. Congratulations. And Blake Taylor. Congratulations. And now our freshmen. Charlie Baldwin. Congratulations. Joseph Chen. Congratulations. Aiden Collins. Congratulations. Stefan Krigler. Congratulations. Jack Edmondson. Congratulations. Thank you. Chris Horner. David Lindros. Congratulations. Griff Morgan. Congratulations. Thank you. And Nick Youssef. Congratulations. What a wonderful bunch of boys and obviously stellar athletes. So as we say goodbye to the seniors and thanking them for their leadership on the team, we are looking forward to see what wonderful things the freshmen, sophomore, and juniors have in store for us. And now I'd like to introduce their coach, Mr. Knight.
I would like to thank the board, the school administration, and the people of Westfield for their unwavering support. This accomplished group of young men and women take great pride in representing their town at the highest levels. Their hard work and dedication to their sport and each other is a big reason why we are the most successful swim program in state history. They are champions, they are record holders, and the definition of what it is to be a student athlete. Thank you.
Mrs. Karecki already got the photo, so you're welcome to have a seat. Thanks. Not too many mishaps. Oh, thank you.
Good job, Roseanne.
I'm telling Rich how good a job he did. He said he's going to be out next week, too.
Right, okay, great.
He's going to be out until his term is up.
Yeah.
Oh, this I do just before the meeting ends?
Tell him if they take the cookies, we're going to kill him.
Or do I do it now? Right. Okay. That's all the fun stuff. And now we get down to business. I think we only have 2 announcements tonight, and the first is from Ann Carey.
Mine is actually a personal note. I was told to speak into this, but it sounds very loud. I want to announce tonight that I will not be seeking re-election to the board in the fall. I have served 3 terms on the board. That will be 9 years, 8 months, and 2 days when I leave, but who's counting? And I want to thank the community for having me. Although the election is in November, anyone interested in running for the board must have their signed petition into the county by July 28th. So in an effort to urge people to consider a run for the board, that's why I wanted to announce tonight. So here's the pitch. Serving on the board is a great way to be connected to your community and your child's education. I'm not going to lie, it's a huge time commitment. It's sort of similar to having a part-time job on top of your full-time job if you have one. So with no pay, no health care, and no pension, what are the benefits of this volunteer position? First, as I said, it's a great way to give back to your community and to be one of the 18 elected volunteers in this town who run the town, the other 9 being the mayor and the council. Secondly, it allows you to make decisions that positively impact your own children and all of the children of Westfield. Thirdly, you get to know the administration, from Dr. Dolan to the central staff, building principals, supervisors, teachers, paraprofessionals, secretaries, and custodians in a way that you otherwise would not get to know them. Fourthly, it allows you to understand the running of the district, both from an educational perspective and the taxpayer perspective. And lastly, you meet people from all over town who you might not otherwise know, and they become your friends. So I urge parents in the community to seriously consider a run for the board. You can pick up a petition in the business administrator's office. I would love to talk to you. If you want to call me, I will answer all of your questions, or I'm sure other members of the board are open to talking to people because we need really good people to sit on the board. So again, I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. And we look forward to serving with you another 7.5 months.
But who's counting?
Right. The next Board of Education meeting will be held Tuesday, May 20th at 302 Elm Street. Prior to that meeting, from May 13th to the 15th, the public is invited to attend the district's Fine Arts Show, which will be held in the Westfield High School Varsity Gymnasium. A sampling of hundreds of artwork created by students representing all 10 public schools and grades, ranging from kindergarten through 12th, will be on display. It's really quite a sight to see, so I highly suggest if you have a chance to come out and see it. And again, it's from May 13th to 15th. And now I would like to recognize the public for agenda items only. Now I'd like to turn it over to the superintendent for the superintendent's report.
Yes, and tonight's superintendent report is about the district goals for this year, for the 2013-14 school year. And actually, I'm going to guess that anybody who sits at this table, or anybody who happens to watch board meetings on a regular basis, that you have heard information about each of these goals throughout the year, so not much of it will sound new this evening, yet they're very important. They're so important that there actually is a PowerPoint that's going to be used tonight to review the district goals, which is slowly coming upon the screen. Yes, that's right. So every year we do develop district goals, and the district goals actually come from our strategic plan. The strategic plan is something that's developed by the community. We tend to do it approximately every 5 years. And a large part, an important part, or perhaps the heart of the strategic plan is the mission statement. So to start tonight's presentation, just before we go over the 3 goals, I'm going to show you a bit of a video that starts with the mission statement and then shows 3 examples of how we work in our classrooms to demonstrate and to fulfill the mission statement.
technology education teacher at Edison. I am in charge of the robotics workshop. I also help coordinate the entire workshop. I think at an early age, STEM education, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math, it's good for them to get a basis and understanding how you got to learn through discovery and not always be given the answer, that they have to solve problems on their own. They're doing robotics, rocketry, computer-aided design, which is CAD, stop-motion animation, and science technology. The goal basically with robotics is for an understanding of programming the robot and also to achieve a goal and solve problems by doing it. They had to learn how to program the robot to go forwards, backwards. One of the things was they had to work through an obstacle course, which was supposed to simulate a Mars terrain and work their way through 2 obstacles. The second thing is that they had a couple other missions that they had to solve through this other more complex obstacle course with the use of sensors.
Well, we're trying to get them through like these rocks that aren't really wide at all, and then we have to turn it and get it onto a platform.
Well, you go on the computer, then you like put down all the like directions and stuff, and like it just does the same thing when you download it to your robot.
In STEM camp, they made paper and tape rockets.
It was in a model kit. We glued these parts on, and there's a parachute inside here.
They love this part where they launch the rockets and they get to see what they've done in terms of their design.
So we challenged our students with a project-based learning model for our unit on the Renaissance as a catalyst for change. The project was entitled Separate at Birth. Student groups were assigned a Renaissance person from one of the many Renaissances in history, and then were further challenged to find a modern-day equivalent of that Renaissance person they had been assigned.
I was so excited when Kim and Steve approached me with this idea. Project-based learning or any type of student-centered learning is so much easier now with many of the digital platforms and technologies we have here at the Westfield District.
With that Renaissance person, we had to do background research on their lives and what everyday life was like for them and what fueled their day.
Yeah, altogether, this was about a 2-month project. During that time, the first step was doing some intensive research. If the final product was going to be strong, they needed to start strong. So we really emphasized that. They used databases, they used books, they used library materials, everything they could get their hands on. They were supported by us, and they did a lot of research to find out as much as they could about the Renaissance person that they'd been assigned.
The next piece was for them to figure out, look in modern day people who are living today, who are carrying on the legacy of the people that they were assigned. Now again, they could only do that if they really knew the ins and outs of the person they were assigned. So the challenge was, what was that connection? How could they compare and contrast the person they were assigned with this new person and prove that the new person was a living, modern Renaissance person? The panel process was a way for the students to defend the research that they did. And also it resulted in them becoming extremely invested in the work that they had done. Because in order to move on to the next stage, they weren't allowed to move on. They weren't allowed to create their scripts until they had proven to a panel that the person they were assigned was a Renaissance person and the new person was the one that they had located.
Technology had a large impact on the project, but we mostly used Google Docs, and it was great because while we weren't at school, we got to collaborate all together at home, and it was awesome because it helped us stay organized, and we used different colors, and we all got to see each other typing, and we also used a little chat in the corner of the Google Docs that you could do, and we were telling each other, like, write this, no, write this.
Things like Google Presentation and Prezi and Apple TV allowed their multimedia presentations to really come to life on stage.
I wanted to make this experience as authentic as possible. So when students entered the TV studio, it was adorned to look like a real theater. We entitled it the Globe Theater West. Students filed in, there was Renaissance music playing, the lights were dim, the stage lights came on.
My name is Kim Legan.
My name is Stephen Kahn.
And we teach humanities to 9th graders at Westfield High School in Westfield, New Jersey.
So again, those are just a few examples of how throughout the course of our day at the elementary, the intermediate, and the high school level, we work to address the mission statement of the Westfield Public Schools. And now focusing just on the goals for this year, the goals that were chosen to focus on this year, the first one, board members might remember, we actually spoke about even last week, or last board meeting if that was last week. And that is the implementation of the Marshall teacher evaluation model. This is a brand new teacher evaluation model implemented in all of our schools with all of our teaching staff. All of the topics and all of the steps within the plan have been completed. The requirements were reviewed before starting the implementation this year. We developed a district manual. We also have a website that has supporting information and all the requirements of the new system for easy access. We not only attended out-of-district training sessions, the members of our district evaluation committee attended those training sessions as well. We were fortunate enough to be able to meet with Kim Marshall, who was the person who developed the Marshall evaluation system. We also met with districts who are also implementing this for the first time, such as Milburn and Summit. In order to make sure when you implement something new, you want to make sure in a district as large as Westfield that you're implementing the system effectively and consistently across the schools and across administrators. So we devoted parts of each of our monthly administrator meetings for viewing classes, viewing lessons, everyone doing observations, and then sharing information about our judgments of the various lessons. I also reviewed observation summaries to provide feedback to administrators, again looking towards consistency across the district. The District Evaluation Committee met monthly throughout the year to evaluate how things were being implemented. The District Evaluation Committee includes not only administrators, teachers as well, and a member of the Board of Education, Roseanne Kerstead, and so we were constantly asking how are we doing, what needs to be improved, and are we doing this consistently across the district. And we did conduct a survey. As promised, it was presented actually at the last meeting, which I believe determined that we have done a good job in the first year of implementation. And the evaluations that were completed under this new system are the evaluations that have been utilized to make the recommendations for next year. Our second goal talked about developing and using benchmark assessments to measure growth of student performance. So every one of our teaching staff members, from pre-kindergarten through the high school, including child study team members and counselors and nurses and all of our teaching staff members, developed benchmarks this year. They developed them so that they were similar for people who have similar job responsibilities and are teaching similar levels or similar disciplines. Last summer, we made sure that all of our administrators had sufficient resources to help in the development of the benchmark assessments. And in the beginning, we started the beginning of the year actually providing a full-day professional development regarding how do you develop student goals, what are benchmarks that are effective, and started with that and then continued that through faculty meetings and department meetings throughout the course of the fall especially. The teachers worked with administrators and established student growth targets after establishing a baseline. Throughout the year, progress has been tracked and instruction has been adjusted as necessary. We are now at the point in the school year where all those results are being reviewed. Administrators are meeting one-on-one with teachers and they're determining attainment levels. Those assessment and attainment levels become part of the full teacher evaluation system as well. The third goal for this year is also something that's been discussed quite a few times at this table, and that the actual goal statement is to implement new digital tools and media to improve communication between the school district and all stakeholders as called for in Westfield's strategic plan. Months ago, a new website provider was selected. We assigned Janine Gotko as the project manager. We determined design and content, and we had various stakeholders review that and provide input. We also investigated expanded use of social media, both on the main pages but also on teacher pages. Developed and implemented systematic training for over 500 staff members. That certainly was a large part of this goal. There were hundreds of different sessions used. There is still much support material available on our website for teachers. So there are webinars and there are videos to help people as they continue to develop. This year we had the changeover just in April to our new web presence, and we are continuing to provide professional development and will continue to grow. Edline is a pretty robust program, and there is much more we can accomplish going forward. By the end of the summer, the parents and students will receive logins, and we will be able to start a new phase of Edline for next year. So I hope it shows this has been a very busy year, certainly not just for me. This is not about me. There are a lot of people throughout the district, in fact, all of the teaching staff, all of the administrators who have been committed to all three of these goals throughout the year, and I do think they have all done a good job regarding them. Yes.
So are there any, thank you, Dr. Dolan. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
Sure. Dr. Dolan, that video was awesome. I hope you're going to post it on the website and give people an opportunity, a different opportunity to see a visual and audio interpretation of the mission. Thank you.
I know the district has been working hard, and the teachers and all the supervisors on meeting these goals. And I have one specific question. On the third goal, for investigate expanded use of social media, I was wondering, in your investigations, what have you found?
Sure. Well, already Twitter is used a great deal more, and this was even mentioned when we had the master technology teachers. Both our district website, we have well over 900 individuals following our district Twitter account. Our master technology teachers have Twitter accounts, and they are followed by our staff members. A number of teachers use that as well. They're finding that as one of the more effective resources. They also use sources like Edmodo. Some are using Facebook for classrooms or teams or clubs. So I think at that point, those are some of the major ones, but there certainly are other ones. And all of those can be and are part of the Edline. They are not separate. They can flow from the pages on Edline.
So Facebook will be on Edline?
Yes. It's absolutely. Just as Twitter comes through, so does the Facebook. As you would in other websites that you visit.
So you link to Facebook?
Yeah.
Could, or
right.
post directly to Facebook?
You can post directly to Facebook.
And would that be teacher pages or district?
It can be both.
Oh, okay. And that's not up now. That'll be when teachers and when parents and students have access to the website, right?
Yes.
It's not available yet.
Right.
Okay.
Not through the Edline, that's correct.
Okay. I'd like the board to approve the minutes of the board meeting held on April 22nd, 2014, and the private minutes of April 22nd, 2014. May I have a second? Thank you, Lucy. Do you have a comment or question, Ginny?
I do, thank you. I don't have my notes here, but I think the April 22nd meeting was when I gave a report on long-range planning. Not exactly sure. But if it was, would you please put some information into the minutes?
Thanks.
That was last week. I think it was last week. And this wasn't last week? What was 29th? 29th. Okay, great. I'll save my comment, thanks. I know it was the last meeting, so I lose track of time.
Any other comments?
No comment.
Roll call? Or all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That takes us to personnel. Mark?
Yes. I'd like the board, excuse me, I'd like the board to consider personnel items 1 through 19. Second. Ginny, thank you. Dr. Dolan, do you have a comment?
So tonight I'm announcing with regret the retirement of Tom Hornish from the Westfield High School Social Studies Department. Tom has been a teacher in the district for 41 years and has taught almost all of the social study courses that are offered at the high school. Tom continually develops new ways to teach economics and American history in interesting and thought-provoking ways. Students are challenged to find meaningful ways to connect the past to the present, and they are supported by his dedicated and caring approach to his field and to them as individuals. Tom has also been a successful coach in cross-country and track for all of his career, and he also mentors students as they participate annually in the Fed Challenge. Working with the Friends of Westfield Track, he plays an instrumental role in raising more than $20,000 annually for scholarships. Tom will certainly be missed, and we wish him well as he continues to teach at Union County College and spends time with family and friends.
Thank you, Dr. Dolan. Any questions?
No, could I just?
Sure.
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Hornish. He was just a wonderful, wonderful teacher. My older son, Charles, had him and participated in both the European Challenge and the Fed Challenge. And this was a program that Mr. Hornish actually started and went out and did all the fundraising for. He raised thousands and thousands of dollars so that these kids could be exposed to this incredible program. He brought them into New York City, and he just, I don't know, he became like a father figure to them. He was great. So thanks, Tom.
And I should add that when Mr. Hornish came to present his retirement letter to me, he made it very clear that he wants to continue to do the Fed Challenge next year. He will continue to volunteer not only his time, which he has done. He has never received any compensation, but I am sure he will also be continuing to raise money for that. He thinks it's very important, and if you've ever, most of the board members have seen the members of the Fed and Euro Challenge teams, it is quite impressive how much our young people know about economics because of their participation in that.
Anybody else? Dana? Oh.
Comment. I'd like to call out on the agenda that our 3/5 Mandarin Chinese teacher will be full-time next year. So that's an indication that the program is growing and there is interest. So I'm just like to call that out.
Yes, we're very excited about it. Very happy.
Dana?
Yes. Ann Carey? Yes. Mark Friedman?
Yes.
Brendan Galligan?
Yes.
Roseanne Kirsten?
Yes.
Ginny Knight?
Yes.
Gretchen Miller?
Yes.
And that brings us to facilities. Rich is not here. Dana, is there anything to report?
Meeting on May 16th.
Okay. There is a meeting on May 16th.
Committee meeting.
Long-range planning?
Nothing to report.
Policies.
Yes, I'd like to ask the board to consider policy item number 1 to affirm the superintendent's decision on HIB incidents 14T06 and 14HS05 for the reasons set forth therein. Can I have a second? Lucy? Dana?
Lucy Beegler? Yes. Ann Carey? Yes. Mark Friedman?
Yes.
Brendan Galligan?
Yes.
Roseanne Kirsten? Yes. Ginny Lights? Yes. Gretchen Miller?
Yes.
Mitch Slater? I'm sorry.
Curriculum and instruction. I'd like to ask the board to approve item number 1, to approve the following district field trips as per attachment 7. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brendan. Any comments or questions? Okay.
Lucy Beegler? Yes. Ann Carey? Yes. Mark Friedman?
Yes.
Brendan Galligan?
Yes.
Roseanne Kirsten?
Yes.
Ginny Lights?
Yes.
Gretchen Miller?
Yes.
Moves to finance.
I would like the board to consider finance items 1 through 7. Second, Ginny, thank you. Just one point, the school board would like to accept a gift from Julie Billings of $175 for a Pearl Bell Kit to the elementary music department. Thank you very much. Any comments? Okay, Dana?
Lucy Beegler? Yes. Ann Carey? Yes. Mark Friedman?
Yes.
Brendan Galligan?
Yes.
Roseanne Kirsten?
Yes.
Ginny Lights?
Yes.
Gretchen Miller?
Yes.
That brings us to legislation and
No report.
technology committee report, which is not here. I don't think he forwarded anything. Note, there are no notes for the record. Any unfinished business? New business. Liaison reports. I'd like to recognize the public for questions or comments. I would like to ask the board to approve the following resolution. Resolved that the Board of Education move into private session for the purpose of discussing matters rendered confidential by state and federal law personnel pending or anticipated litigation and pending or anticipated contract negotiations, and be it further resolved that any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential, and the results of the discussion will be made public as soon as practicable. May I have a second? All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.